Chapter 7 of Grimm's Fairy Tales, retold in one-syllable words. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mike Harris. Grimm's Fairy Tales, retold in one-syllable words, by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm. Chapter 7 King Roughbeard. There was once a princess who was very fair, but so proud that she thought no man was good enough to be her husband. Kings and kings' sons came to woo her, but she met them with scorn and made game of all of them. Once the king, her father, gave a feast to which he asked all the young men he knew who were fit to be the husband of the princess. When they came, they were set in a row, and the princess was led down the line to make a choice, but she laughed at each one in turn. The one that she made the most fun of was a good young king, whom she named King Roughbeard, because his chin was not straight, and he had a rough beard. Her father was angry with her, and when she had sent all the young men away, told her she would have to marry the first tramp that came to the gate. The next day, a tramp who sang in the streets for what folks would give him came to the gate. The king called him in and sent for the princess, and in spite of her tears made her marry the street singer, and then turned both of them out of the house. So the tramp led her off with him, and she had to trudge along the road on foot. When they reached the next kingdom, which was that of the prince she had called King Roughbeard, she sighed and wept, and said, "Oh, that I had but married King Roughbeard when he wished me to." The tramp grew cross at this, and said, "Stop that. It does not please me that you wish you had married someone else. Am I not good enough for you?" By and by they came to a small, mean hut, where they stopped. "This is my house," said the tramp, and then the princess wished again that she had married King Roughbeard. The tramp told her that she must keep house and cook the meals for him, but the princess had not learned how to do these things, and her husband had to do them himself. At length he told her she must earn something, and he set her at work making baskets, but her hands were too soft to bend the twigs. Then he told her to spin, but the coarse thread cut her fingers and made them bleed. When he saw this, he sent her to the market with pots and pans to sell. Her pride made this a hard task for the princess, but she was so fair to look at that folks bought from her. One day, though, a drunken soldier rode down the street on his horse, and plunged right into the midst of her wares, and broke the whole of them. "I see you are not fit for such work," said her husband, "but I will try one more thing. I have heard that they need a maid in the king's kitchen, and I will try to get the place for you." They took the princess for the maid in the king's kitchen, and for pay she had to take home the scraps of food that were left. She had not been there long when the king gave a grand ball. The poor princess went upstairs to look at the guests from the door. As she stood there, the king saw her and seized her hand, and asked her to dance. She drew back in fright, for it was none else than King Roughbeard himself, who had once been refused by her with scorn. She tried to get away, but the king drew her into the ballroom. In the strife, the band broke that held a bag in which were her scraps of food, and they were all thrown out on the ballroom floor. She heard all the guests laugh, and she rushed from the room in shame. On the steps a man caught her and brought her back. When she looked at him, she saw it was King Roughbeard again. He looked at her kindly and said, "Do not fear. I and the tramp whom you married are one. My love for you led me to disguise myself. I was also the rude soldier that broke your wares. All this has been done to cure you of your pride." The princess wept and said, "I have done a great wrong, and I am not worthy to be your wife." But the king said, "Do not weep. These sad days are at an end. Now we will have our wedding feast." Then the maids came and dressed her in rich robes, and she was led out to meet her father, who had come with his whole court to wish her joy. Thus her trials came to an end, and never again was she proud or haughty. End of Chapter 7 King Roughbeard.